What if I told you that the US government might lay off thousands of workers, and not temporarily but permanently, right? This is not about some political drama in Washington, D.C. This could directly hit your paycheck, your job security, your bills, and your ability to buy things like grocery. So whether you work for the government or not, this shutdown could affect all of us. So let's break this down. What is happening, what it means for your money, and what you could do right now to protect your household. So what is actually happening right now? So inflation on Friday was slightly up, right? Nothing wild, but it was still not what we wanted to see. And here is what nobody's talking about, right? The White House just told federal agencies to prepare for permanent job cuts if the government shuts down. So these are not furloughs. These are not delays, right? These are permanent layoffs, like you're not coming back after the government opens back. So this changes everything, because when that happens, it hits unemployment, it shakes the economy, and yes, it can affect your household as well. In simple terms, a government shutdown happens when Congress cannot agree on how to fund federal programs, right? And every year, by September 30th, they're supposed to pass a budget bill. But when they don't, what happens? The government runs completely out of money and shuts down until Congress can pass a new bill. That means this: agencies cannot spend money. Federal workers might get sent home without any pay whatsoever. Essential workers might have to work without pay until this is over. Every single thing slows down, right? Passport applications, tax returns, even military pay as well. Now, normally, workers get back pay later, but this time, they're talking about permanent job cuts, meaning that when these people leave, they're not going to be able to come back. So what is different this time? This time, the Office of Management and Budget, or OMB, right, told agencies to create RRF plans. That means reduction in force. That's government speak for who are we going to fire for real, right? And this is not just about being theoretical. This is real talk. We're already seeing agencies warning employees that this is very serious. And some unions are saying, don't panic, and others are bracing for the cuts. Federal contractors, especially those in D.C., Virginia, and Maryland, are already preparing to stop work, get unpaid, and also be laid off altogether. So why is this happening anyway? Well, you've got this. One side of Congress is trying to cut spending, which is targeting social programs like healthcare, right? And the other side is fighting to protect those programs like Medicaid and public assistance, right? And neither side is budging, right? And so here's what we're happening. We're back at somewhere that's very familiar, which is playing games, threatening to shut down the government altogether, and making people like you and I pay for it. But here's the scary part, right? The White House is using this as an opportunity to cut the size of the US government, right? And that is why they're talking about permanent job cuts and not just temporary furloughs. Let's be clear, even if you don't have a government job or you're not a government contractor, this still affects you, and here is how. Unemployment numbers could rise, which drives down consumer confidence, right? Your mortgage interest rate or your credit card APR could increase. Federal programs could slow down, passport delays, IRS backlogs, benefit interruptions. Markets could react negatively, right? Which is going to push your investment or your 401k up or down. Remember that in 2023 and again this year, major credit agencies like Fitch and Moody's downgraded the US credit rating altogether. And why? Because of government dysfunction and ballooning debt as well. So what does a low credit rating mean? Higher borrowing costs for every person. Higher interest on everything from your car loan to your credit cards. More pressure on your monthly budget as well. Right now, the US federal debt is over $37 trillion, right? And just 2 years ago, it was around $33 trillion. And that is a $4 trillion jump in just 24 months. That is wild. And every few months, we hear the same phrases: continuing resolution, on to the next bill, government shutdown deadlines. It is like a never-ending cycle of financial chaos coming from people at the top. These giant bills that pass sometimes are over 1,000 pages long and are just stopgap fixes, but the deeper issues are not getting addressed. This is where I want you to really lean in, right? Stack some cash as much as you can. Start building an emergency cushion, even if it's just $300 to begin with. Every little bit is going to help you out. Next, I want you to diversify your income. Even $200 to $300 a month extra from a side hustle can help weather the storm for you. Now, pay down high interest debt, especially credit cards or personal loans as well. Interest rates are climbing steadily, right? So hold off on big purchases at the moment and wait until things settle down. This is not the season for you to be splurging. Track every single dollar. Use the financial freedom budget template to make sure that you're being intentional with your money, right? Don't wait until you're laid off or hit with a surprise bill to start taking your finances seriously. Also, you get the Spending with Purpose tracker. This one is completely free to you. I'm going to drop the link to both of those in the description box below. Here's what I'm keeping my eye on at the moment. Will Congress pass a clean funding bill before September 30th? How are unions going to respond to the threat of mass layoffs? Will the Fed continue to cut interest rates to soften the blow for people? What will inflation, job numbers, and Treasury yields do next? All of this matters. The signs are here, so we're not going to ignore them. I'm not telling you this to scare you, not at all. I'm telling you this so you can prepare, right? Because the worst thing that you want to do is hear all this and do absolutely nothing about it. So here's how we're going to do this. You're going to hit that like button if this gave you value. Share this video with a friend or coworker who's going to be affected by this. Drop a comment. What is your biggest financial fear right now? And if you want a step-by-step plan to recession-proof your life, then check out the Financial Freedom Budget Template and the Spending with Purpose Tracker. I'm going to drop both below. It's going to help you track your spending as well as stop living paycheck to paycheck. Don't let what Washington is doing drive you crazy, right? Do something about it. Protect yourself and your family, because when it all gets down to it, nobody is coming to save you. You have to prepare yourself financially. When the going gets tough, only the tough get going. And before I let you go, I want you to remember that the best time to invest in yourself was yesterday. The second best time is now. You got this.